Introduction: Love in the Modern World, an Adlerian Perspective. Have you ever wondered why you feel lonely, even though you long for closeness? Why does love seem out of reach, and relationships don't work out the way you'd like? If so, this guide is for you. Today, we will delve into the fascinating world of Alfred Adler's psychology to discover how to break down the barriers that stand in the way of true love and deep, satisfying relationships in the modern world. Adler, one of the pioneers of modern psychology, believed that each of us strives for a sense of significance and belonging, and that our behaviors are purposeful and aimed at building connections. I will show you how his timeless ideas can help you change your approach to love and build lasting connections. Adler, a true pioneer, understood that all our human struggles are fundamentally social in nature. So, if your romantic life feels like an endless solo performance, it's not some cosmic punishment. It's simply a sign that your lifestyle might need a little reorientation towards genuine cooperation and empathy. We're talking about building a life together where mutual growth outweighs your desperate search for perfection. In this guide, we'll tackle the inferiority complex and that annoying fear of rejection, showing you how to act as if you've already got this. Then, we'll expose how your early beliefs about being perfect are actually sabotaging your chances at intimacy. And finally, we'll arm you with practical exercises to build real empathy, cooperation, and daily appreciation. Because, let's be honest, who needs a perfect partner when you can have a real one? The inferiority complex in romance. How to overcome the fear of rejection. Alfred Adler introduced the concept of the inferiority complex, defining it as a persistent feeling of inadequacy that results from real or imagined shortcomings. It often has its roots in childhood experiences, such as comparisons with siblings, societal expectations, or parental attitudes. Adler believed that all people experience feelings of inferiority at some point in their lives. This feeling can be a powerful source of motivation to strive for superiority, meaning self-improvement, and achieving one's full potential. However, if not constructively processed, it can lead to neurosis or unhealthy coping mechanisms. In a romantic context, the fear of rejection is particularly strong and often leads to attributing rejection to one's own inadequacy. This fear manifests in various ways in dating and relationships. Withdrawal and avoidance. Individuals with a fear of rejection may avoid social situations, dates, or initiating conversations, fearing judgment or comparison with others. Self-doubt. Constantly questioning one's own abilities, attractiveness, or worth in a relationship is common, leading to a lack of self-confidence and difficulty in making decisions. Seeking constant validation. There is a frequent need to seek confirmation and acceptance from a partner, a continuous need for affirmation, which can burden the relationship. Overcompensation. Some try to prove their worth through perfectionism, excessive self-confidence, or even aggression to hide deeply rooted feelings of insecurity. Conflict avoidance. The fear of rejection or criticism leads to avoiding expressing one's own needs or concerns, which can result in internalizing emotions and passive-aggressive behaviors. Constant comparison. People with an inferiority complex often compare themselves to others, especially perceived better partners, leading to jealousy, feelings of inadequacy, and resentment. They act as if technique in dating and relationships. The act-as-if technique, act as if you are, is a key tool in Adlerian therapy that encourages individuals to behave as if they were already the person they wish to be. For example, a confident individual. This process involves conscious pretending, with an emphasis that it is merely a game or an experiment. This allows for trying out alternative behaviors and changing one's lifestyle. The goal is to build courage and self-confidence through action, and success is viewed in terms of effort and gradual growth, not just a final outcome. Practical exercises and scenarios for applying act as if in daily interactions and dating include reflection before action. Before taking action, it is recommended to consider how the person one wishes to be would behave. One should ask oneself what would be the first signs that one is moving in the right direction if someone were observing from the side. Are you swiping left because you're afraid you can't handle it? Stop that nonsense. Try act as if and message someone today. What's the worst that can happen? You get a no? Big deal. You're still alive and you just practice being brave. Creating an act as a behavior list. It is worthwhile to create a list of specific behaviors that reflect the desired self-confidence and acceptance. Starting with the easiest ones to perform increases the chances of success and encourages further action. Dry run practice. In cases of situations that trigger fear of rejection, e.g., asking someone out on a date, instead of avoiding, one can act out a scenario where one behaves confidently and acceptingly, as if one already knew one would be accepted. Normalizing fear. It is important to understand that the fear of rejection is common. Instead of analyzing this fear, one should redirect attention to the other person and to what one feels in their presence, which helps to be more present in the interaction. The fear of rejection in romance is often fueled by deeply ingrained mistaken beliefs about one's own inadequacy and fictional goals of striving for perfection as a way to avoid pain. The act-as-if technique is not merely a superficial change in behavior. It is a strategic tool for generating new experiences. When a person behaves as if they are confident and accepted, even if initially it is a pretense, they can experience positive reactions that directly contradict their old negative beliefs. This new experience, combined with the principle of encouragement, gradually weakens a private logic, driving the fear, and builds authentic self-confidence. This is a practical application of Adler's idea that meanings are not determined by situations, but we determine ourselves by the meanings we give situations. The following points present specific scenarios for applying the act-as-if technique in dating, illustrating how to transform typical behaviors resulting from fear of rejection into attitudes conducive to building self-confidence and deeper relationships. Scenarios for applying the act-as-if technique in dating and relationships. Situation, first date. Typical behavior resulting from fear of rejection. Avoiding eye contact, overanalyzing, nervous gestures. Act-as-if behavior. As if already accepted, maintaining open body language. Active listening, asking questions, being present. Potential effect. Increased self-confidence. Creation of a comfortable atmosphere, authentic connection. Situation, meeting new people. Typical behavior resulting from fear of rejection. Hiding true feelings/opinions. Withdrawing from conversations. Fear of judgment. Act as a behavior, as if already accepted, expressing authentic opinions with respect. initiating conversations, maintaining eye contact. Potential effect: reduce social anxiety, building trust, attracting people with similar values. Situation: expressing interest. Typical behavior resulting from fear of rejection, delaying invitations, sending unclear signals, fear of being too open. Act as a behavior, as if already accepted directly, but politely expressing interest, openness to the outcome, accepting no without feeling defeated. Potential effect: breaking down barriers, increasing chances of a positive response, building courage. Situation: discussing a problem in a relationship. Typical behavior resulting from fear of rejection, unavoiding conflict, internalizing frustration, passive-aggressive behaviors. Act as a behavior, as if already accepted, expressing needs and concerns assertively but respectfully, striving for a win-win solution. Potential effect: deepening connection, effective problem-solving, strengthening trust. Situation: receiving compliments. Typical behavior resulting from fear of rejection, refusing to accept, self-deprecating, feeling uncomfortable. Act out of behavior, as if already accepted, accepting compliments with a smile and a simple thank you, acknowledging one's own worth. Potential effect: strengthening self-esteem, building positive relationship dynamics, feeling seen and appreciated. Lifestyle and attractiveness, the impact of early beliefs on closeness. In Adlerian psychology, lifestyle refers to the unique way an individual pursues their goals and copes with life's challenges. It is a consistent pattern of behaviors, attitudes, and goals. This private logic or cognitive schema is formed in early childhood, often within a family context, and influences how one perceives oneself, others, and the world. Early recollections are key to understanding one's lifestyle, as they reflect the individual's unique worldview and their way of dealing with life tasks. Beliefs such as, "only if I try to be perfect," are often a form of compensation for feelings of inferiority and lead to a striving for perfection. Perfectionism and the need to be perfect significantly impact communication and the building of intimacy in relationships. Barrier to emotional connection. Perfectionism often creates a protective barrier in relationships, hindering deep emotional connection. You may struggle to share your insecurities and fears, fearing that exposing your perceived weaknesses will tarnish your flawless image. However, true connection requires vulnerability, which for perfectionists is often too risky. And Instagram doesn't help, does it? While social media screams be perfect, Adler calmly reminds you, just be yourself. Pressure and physical intimacy. Physical intimacy can become a source of anxiety, and the pursuit of impossible standards can manifest in the bedroom as pressure for perfect performance, turning intimate moments into tasks, not sources of pleasure and connection. Lack of security. The fear of expressing emotions perfectly often leads to hesitation or avoidance in communication, which creates emotional distance and misunderstandings. Remember hiding your tears after an argument so you wouldn't ruin your image, or how he pretended your comment about his weight didn't hurt him. Yeah, that's perfectionism actively murdering intimacy. Need for control. Perfectionists often strive to control every detail in relationships, which limits spontaneity and natural connection, and can also lead to partner frustration. Low self-esteem and self-criticism. Constant self-criticism undermines self-esteem, making it difficult to fully engage in intimate experiences. Perfectionists often struggle to accept positive feedback because it contradicts their internal belief of being less than. Conflict avoidance and escalation. Perfectionism can turn minor conflicts into catastrophes, leading to avoidance, defensiveness, or an obsessive need to win every argument, instead of striving for mutual understanding and resolution. Excessive criticism of partner. Perfectionists can be overly critical of partners, pointing out even minor slip-ups, leading to resentment and lack of appreciation, creating a toxic environment in the relationship. Unrealistic expectations. Having an idealized vision of a relationship that does not match reality leads to constant disappointment and blaming oneself or the partner for not meeting impossible standards. The user asks about the impact of early beliefs, such as, only if I try to be perfect, on attractiveness, communication, and closeness. Perfectionism, which is often a compensation for a deep sense of inferiority, aims to make a person attractive and worthy of love by being flawless. However, available data clearly indicate that this same perfectionism actively sabotages intimacy and communication. Refusal to be vulnerable, conflict avoidance, constant criticism, and unrealistic expectations create distance, not closeness. This is a profound paradox. The pursuit of perfection, which is supposed to bring acceptance and love, actually pushes them away, because true intimacy requires acceptance of imperfections, both one's own and the partner's. Hence, true attractiveness in the Adlerian context does not come from being perfect, but from authenticity, the courage to be imperfect, and the ability to cooperate and empathize, which is the essence of social interest. Transforming unhealthy beliefs about perfectionism towards authenticity and acceptance is a process that requires conscious effort. Cultivating self-awareness. It is crucial to recognize one's own perfectionistic tendencies and their impact on relationships. Challenging mistaken beliefs. One should actively question the belief that one must be perfect to be accepted. Practicing good enough. Gradually practicing acceptance of imperfections and focusing on good enough performance instead of striving for an impossible ideal. Developing social interest. Engaging in social activities and volunteering helps overcome feelings of inferiority and build a sense of purpose, shifting attention away from ego-centered pursuits. Change in perspective on success. Rephrasing success as effort and gradual growth, not just a final outcome, allows for appreciating small progress. Unconditional acceptance. Believing in one's fundamental worth and love, regardless of achievements, facilitates letting go of perfectionism and allows for authenticity. Social interest in a couple. Building empathy and cooperation. Social interest, Gemeinschaftsgefühl, is a central concept in Adlerian psychology, meaning a deep sense of kinship with other beings and belonging to the human community. It is the sole criterion of mental health in Adler's theory. Individuals with high social interest demonstrate the ability to cooperate, engage in constructive activity, and empathize. Developing this feeling reduces isolation and loneliness. In relationships, social interest means the ability to give and take, accept the good and bad aspect of life, and cultivate care for the other. A lack of empathy and emotional support leads to emotional disconnection and one-sidedness in relationships. Practical exercises for empathy and cooperation for couples. Adler's concept of social interest Gemeinschaftsgefühl is the foundation of mental health. In the context of a couple, it means moving from individuals striving for superiority to shared building and cooperation. Short partner tasks and empathy exercises are not just techniques, but deliberate interventions that create micro-experiences of success in cooperation and understanding. These repeated positive interactions strengthen the unity of the couple and shift each partner's lifestyle towards greater social interest, which in turn naturally deepens closeness and intimacy. This is about building us through daily shared action, which is the essence of the Adlerian approach to relationships. Below are practical exercises that help couples develop empathy and cooperation. Short partner tasks, shared small projects that strengthen cooperation and a sense of community. Goal: strengthening cooperation, a sense of community, and a common purpose, which is crucial for Adlerian mental health. Examples: cooking together, choosing a recipe and preparing a meal together, sharing responsibilities, focus on the process and communication, not just the end result. Planning a short trip/date, jointly planning a weekend getaway, an evening date, or a small home project, e.g., rearranging a room. Sharing tasks and decisions is key. Solving minor household problems, jointly tackling a small repair, organizing a space, or another task requiring joint effort. Celebrating shared achievement strengthens the bond. Relationship jar, writing down ideas for shared activities on slips of paper, e.g., let's bake a cake, let's watch a childhood movie, let's go for a walk without phones. And drawing one out each week to introduce spontaneity and joy. Exercises developing empathy, e.g., active listening, stepping into your partner's shoes. Goal: developing the ability to see with the eyes of another, listen with the ears of another, and feel with the heart of another. Active listening. During a conversation, focus solely on your partner. Maintain eye contact, do not interrupt, and do not judge. Repeating what you have heard helps ensure you have understood correctly. Stepping into your partner's shoes. Ask your partner to talk about something that is stressing them or making them happy. Try to enter their experience. Imagine what they are feeling. You can use phrases like, given what you said about, I imagine you might be feeling, is that right? It is important to verify your understanding. Do not fix, just listen. Often the biggest mistake is trying to fix the partner's problem instead of simply showing empathy. Focus on understanding, not on giving advice unless asked. The following points present a set of exercises for developing empathy and cooperation that can be implemented in a couple's daily life. Set of exercises for developing empathy and cooperation. Exercise name: cooking together. Exercise description: choosing a recipe and preparing a meal together, sharing responsibilities, and enjoying the process. Adlerian goal: strengthening cooperation and a sense of community, building a common purpose. Frequency: once a week. Exercise name: daily exchange of thoughts. Exercise description: dedicating 10 to 15 minutes daily to talk about what happened, what was difficult/joyful without judgment. Adlerian goal: developing open communication and mutual respect, being present. Frequency, daily. Exercise name, empathy mirror. Exercise description. One person talks about their feelings, the other paraphrases and verifies understanding until the speaker feels fully understood. Adlerian goal, deepening empathy and emotional connection, practicing active listening. Frequency, as needed, e.g., during conflict resolution. Exercise name, joint planning. Exercise description, jointly planning a weekend activity, vacation, or small home project, sharing tasks and decisions. Adlerian goal, building a common purpose and responsibility, strengthening the sense of we. Frequency, once a month or more often as needed. Exercise name, relationship jar. Exercise description, writing down ideas for shared activities on slips of paper and drawing one out each week. Adlerian goal, adding spontaneity, building shared positive memories. Frequency, once a week. Encouragement in a relationship. Daily appreciation instead of criticism. Encouragement is a fundamental principle and method that permeates all aspects of Adlerian therapy. It is a process aimed at facilitating the development of a person's inner resources and courage towards positive movement. When people feel encouraged, they gain a sense of capability and appreciation, which naturally leads to more connected and cooperative behaviors. Encouragement builds a sense of belonging and significance. It focuses on effort and progress, not just a final outcome, which allows for appreciation of even small steps forward. Importantly, encouragement accepts, trusts, and frees people to be themselves, including their mistakes, which is crucial for authenticity in a relationship. Criticism and passive reception, lack of appreciation, are harmful to relationships. Criticism, nagging, yelling, and demands discourage, create tension and undermine trust. They can lead to avoidance, passive-aggressive behaviors, and deep resentment. Passive reception, or the failure to express appreciation, makes a partner feel unappreciated, unimportant, and invisible, which undermines their sense of belonging and worth in the relationship. In contrast, appreciation and affirmation strengthen self-belief, self-worth, and the ability to cooperate. When good qualities are highlighted and a person is shown to be valued, negative behaviors and beliefs can gradually be replaced by more constructive patterns. Practical tips and examples of daily appreciation. The fear of rejection and the striving for perfection, which are central symptoms of the inferiority complex in relationships, stem from a deep belief in one's own inadequacy. Partners who feel discouraged may believe that they are loved for what they do, not for who they are. Adlerian encouragement is a direct antidote to this belief. Through "I appreciate you for" and other forms of affirmation, partners communicate unconditional acceptance and belief in the other person's worth, regardless of their perfection. This shifts the relationship dynamic from one based on fear and performance to one based on security, belonging, and mutual growth. This is a key mechanism that allows partners to abandon perfectionism and become more authentic and vulnerable, which in turn deepens intimacy. Here are practical tips and examples for daily appreciation of your partner. Daily short, "I appreciate you for." Start with simple, sincere observations. Instead of general "you're great," say, "I appreciate you for making coffee this morning. It really helped me." Focus on effort and progress, not just the outcome. I appreciate how hard you try to fix that, even if it didn't work out. Express gratitude for your partner simply being. An Adlerian principle states that the most fundamental encouragement a spouse can convey to his or partner is that the partner counts by the mere fact of his/her existence. Other forms of encouragement: positive reinforcement, noticing and commenting on your partner's positive behaviors to reinforce them. Communicating faith, expressing belief in your partner's abilities and potential, even when they doubt themselves. You can say, "I believe you can handle this." Nonverbal acceptance, a smile, open gestures, eye contact, a hug. These nonverbal signals communicate acceptance and support, often speaking louder than words. Focusing on strengths, regularly reminding your partner their strengths and positive qualities, which boosts their self-esteem. Shared affirmations, using affirmations that strengthen the bond and a sense of mutual worth, e.g., we treat each other with honor and respect. Stopping discouraging behaviors, actively refraining from criticizing, nagging, yelling, or making demands. This is a fundamental step that opens the door to positive communication and builds an atmosphere of respect. The following points present examples of daily appreciation for a partner, categorized to facilitate their practical application. Examples of daily appreciation for a partner. Category of appreciation, actions and help. Example phrase, I appreciate you for always remembering my favorite flowers. Making coffee this morning, it really helped me. Your help with organizing the trip, I couldn't have done it without you. Impact on relationship. Strengthens a feeling of being seen and appreciated, builds mutual support. Category of appreciation, character traits. Example phrase, I appreciate you for your patience, even when I'm stressed. Your cheerful disposition, which always brightens my mood. Your honesty, and that I can always count on you. Impact on relationship. Builds trust and security. Strengthens a positive image of the partner. Category of appreciation, emotional support. Example phrase, I appreciate you for how you support me in my passions and dreams. Always listening to me, even when I'm talking nonsense. Your strength, which helps me get through difficult times. Impact on relationship. Fosters emotional connection, a sense of being understood and secure. Category of appreciation, small gestures. Example phrase, I appreciate you for that smile you give me every morning, always hugging me goodbye, that little note you left me this morning. Impact on relationship, strengthens a bond and intimacy, shows that the partner is important in everyday life. Category of appreciation, shared experiences. Example phrase, I appreciate you for our shared laughs watching our favorite show. How well we travel together. The shared memories we create every day. Impact on relationship. Strengthens a sense of community and belonging. Builds a relationship's history. Conclusion. Love is a journey of growth and connection. From the perspective of Alfred Adler's individual psychology, love is much more than just a feeling. It is an active striving for belonging, significance, and cooperation. Key conclusions from this perspective include Overcoming the inferiority complex and fear of rejection. The first step to authenticity in relationships is a courageous application of the act as if technique, which allows for experimenting with new behaviors and gradually building self-confidence. Understanding and transforming one's lifestyle. Recognizing and transforming one's lifestyle, especially perfectionistic beliefs, opens a way to true intimacy and communication, as it allows for the acceptance of imperfections. Developing social interest. Cultivating empathy and cooperation in a couple is a foundation that builds a deep mutual connection and a sense of community. Daily encouragement and appreciation. The practice of daily appreciation is essential for nurturing a sense of worth and belonging in a relationship, creating an atmosphere of trust and support. The initial question of how to gain love might suggest a passive approach or a search for a magic formula. Adler's perspective radically redefines this gaining. Instead of being a goal to achieve, love becomes a result of an active, courageous, and socially useful lifestyle. True love is created by overcoming one's fears, inferiority complex, fear of rejection, developing empathy and cooperation, social interest, and actively encouraging one's partner. It is a journey of self-improvement that naturally attracts and maintains healthy, mutual relationships because the individual becomes a person capable of deep, authentic connection. Love is a dynamic journey that requires continuous effort, learning, and adaptation. Applying these Adlerian principles in daily life allows for building relationships full of respect, understanding, and mutual support, leading to a deeper sense of fulfillment and belonging.